Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about modeling things with algebraic expressions. So we're going to look at word phrases and we're going to turn them into algebraic expressions. Now, the biggest thing for that is recognizing some certain vocabulary, okay? You're going to be identifying key words in these phrases that are noting operations that you have to do. So for example, if you hear the word product, you should think multiplication. Difference, you should think subtraction. Total, you should think addition. Quotient, you should think division. So the first thing that you're going to do in all these situations is you're going to identify, all right, what are some keywords in here telling me an operation that I should be doing? So let's take a look at some examples. So 7 fewer than a number t. So fewer than. That's the first thing that catches my attention. To be fewer than something, it means you are going to be subtracting it away, right? So I'm going to identify that key phrase, and I'm going to say I know that I should be subtracting in this problem. Now, 7 fewer than a number t. So this one is written a little bit strangely because let's say you want to do something 7 fewer than your age, for example. So really what you would have to do there is 7 less than your age would be your age minus the 7. So in this case, the interesting thing is when you have fewer than, you need to remember to reverse it, okay? Think about what would make sense in an actual context to that question, okay? You do need to make sure you're remembering to reverse that situation. How about 2 times the sum of A and B? So times is indicating multiplication, and sum is another word for addition. So here we have 2 things going on. 2 times the sum of A and B. Well, let's start with the sum of A and B. Okay, so that's what that sum would look like. And if I want 2 times that sum, I need to take that whole thing and multiply it by 2. So the thing in this one to remember is sometimes you're going to need parentheses if you're doing multiple operations, okay? Think about what would make sense in order to take the sum of, or multiplying that whole sum. All right, so the quotient of the sum of 2 and a number b and 3. All right, so quotient is division, sum is addition. So we want the quotient of the sum of 2 and a number b and 3. So the sum of 2 and b would look like that. Now the quotient of that and the number 3, well, quotient means division. So you would end up with something like that. The sum of the product of number 4 and k and number m. So here, sum means addition, product means multiplying. So the product of k and 4 would look like that. And we want the sum of that with the number m. Okay, so watching the language here to make sure that you're doing it in the right order is going to be very, very important. All right. So, but again, the biggest thing is just noting those key words that are telling you what operation you are doing in there. Now, when we're talking about situations, okay, the same thing is going to apply. We're going to talk about key vocabulary that'll tell you what operations that you're doing. We'll define a variable to represent the unknowns and then represent the actions with an expression. So, you start with $20 and you save $6 each week. What algebraic expression models the total amount that you save? All right, so Each week means we're talking about a number of weeks. Okay, so that W I'm going to use to represent the number of weeks that are passing. So how much money am I getting? Well, I'm starting with $20 and then I'm saving money. Saving money implies that I'm adding to the money that I already have, correct? So I'm adding $6 each week. So the amount of money I'm adding is $6, and that's connected with the number of weeks that have passed. After 1 week, I'll have saved $6 additional dollars. After 2 weeks, I'll have saved $12 additional dollars. Those two things are connected, so that is how we can represent that situation. All right, and then how about you had $150 but are spending $2 each day? What algebraic expression models this situation? So here, we're going to let D represent number of days. Because that's what's changing here. We're talking about after how many days you want to know how much money do you have. So we're starting with 150. But in this case, we're spending. Spending money implies you're subtracting away from what you have. So we're going to have less money now because we're taking some of our money away. How much are we taking away? Well, $2 each day. So the 2 is connected with the number of days. After 1 day, you've spent $2. After 2 days, you spent $4. 3 days, you spent $6. So those two things are going to remain connected. And that is actually going to be all for this section of notes. So thank you for joining me. And as always, now that you're done with these notes, you are ready to do the associated worksheet to practice it on your own.